So the Rebbe was discussing, we're up to Eis Daled. So the Rebbe was discussing over here that um, even though HaChodesh Hazeh is the Yichud of Seviv and Memali, but still Beraishis Bara, which is the Avodas Habirurim, is even higher, is even on a higher level. And that's the answer. That why does the Torah begin with Beraishis Bara? Because the Avodas Habirurim, Lo Seis Lahem Nachlas Goyim, to swap around and change around and make it from the Nachlas Goyim into Eretz Yisrael, that is Mamshich an Ur Chodosh even more than the Ur that was Lifnei HaTzimtzum. And therefore, the Torah begins with Bereishis Bara. Seems like, because of this, that's a very difficult and strong avodah. So the Rebbe explains now in Eis Daled that this is something which Hashem wants it to first be by the klippas, by the Ummah Sha'olam, for us to be mevarer. So it's something that we could accomplish. And the fact that sometimes it looks difficult, it's only an imagination. But the truth of the matter, we have the koyach. Let's look inside. Dalet. V'hinei mikivon dezeh shebirtzoynei nosno lahem lizman b'suyum. And since it is because Hashem wanted, it's not that the Ummah Sha'olam really have an ownership of the matters of the world. It's only that the Eibishter wanted to give it to them. It's his will. Lizman Mesuyam, for a certain time. Why did Hashem give it to them for a certain time? So that later on a Yid should come and be Mevarer, so that later on he would take it from them and give it to us. So then it's obvious that if you decide with full force, then it becomes easier, very easy to to sort out the lands of the seven nations. And and also the whole world. The avodas habirurim, to sort things out, become easier. That it should be a dwelling place for him, blessed. Basically, that the fact that you know that it's Hashem wanted to give it to them temporarily, and you ultimately is the goal to take it away from them. So when you make a strong decision, it's not hard, it's very easy to conquer them. We see we have challenges in our avodah. We see that it takes effort. And this, that it appears that it requires effort and hard work in order to go through and be mevarer the world. Seems like it's hard. It is hard to the extent, using the Rashi's, the metaphor, that the nations of the world argue as it relates to every time you want to sort it out. They say listim atem. you're robbers. They don't allow very easily, seemingly, to be nisbared over there. They say no, it belongs to the other side. Listimatem, you are bandits, take it away. Hu mitzad goydel hahelem behester. That is only because of the great obscurity and block in which we don't see the Eibishter's Rotzen. It seems like the Umasoilim, they don't see it. They block. Seems like they're pushing against it. They don't allow for themselves to be nisbar. Mashein irgash ba'ilam, the fact that the world, it's not felt in the world. Asher kol ha'aretz shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu hi. They don't feel, as Rashi says, really is the whole world belongs to Hashem. Memela, they argue listim atem. V'chi mimcho hakoil. And that everything is from Hashem. So they don't feel it. So they say listim atem. But aval hari tachlis hakavone shel hahelem v'haester. But ultimately, what is the ultimate intention of the Helem v'Hester? Hu bichdei sheyiya uvikashta mishom. As the Pasuk says, that you should seek from there, meaning from the Helem v'Hester itself, mishom, uvikashta mishom, from there, from the Helem, as Eden sollen suchen und gefinnen dem Ebersten. That the Jews should search and find Hashem in all matters of the world, in the blocks, in the obscurities, to find Hashem, that even in the areas where it seems to oppose to Hashem, also there, in the blocks to Hashem, to find the Eibishter. And the Rebbe gives the mashal in the brackets that the fact that Hashem hides himself, that there is obstacles, it's not because he wants the obstacles to be there, because he wants us to overcome the obstacle. He wants us to find him in there. Kemoshul ha'av, would be like the parable of a father. Hamas who hides himself from his young child, that is in order to show how smart his son is, that he understands this young child, the father plays hide and go seek with him, so he hides himself, is to show how smart the son is, that he understands that the fact that he's hiding and he's obscuring himself and blocking is only so that he should seek him and find him. The father is not hiding because he doesn't want his son to really see him, but because he wants to show how smart his son is, that he's going to not give up or stop looking. But fakert, he's smart that he realizes that the father is hiding, and then he's going to go looking for him. So that's what the Eibishter makes the Halamas Ve'estadium, is for us to seek him in there. V'ivticha Torah. And the Torah promises, when you seek Hashem from there, Oz, for sure you will be able to find Hashem. If you look for Hashem, you will find him. Yogaitu motzoso, shekoivshim es kol ha'olam, that you conquer all world. The entire world. That's the nachlas, the olam hazeh, from the other side. The oisim mimenu dira yisborich, and we make from this world a dwelling place for him blessed. At, to the extent, asher oz epich el amim, sofa brura, the time in the future that the pasuk says, I will turn all the nations will speak a clear language, which means goymer la'ovdei shechem echad, to work one shoulder together for Hashem, which means we'll turn around these amim that we're conquering now, which are providing the obstacles, and we have to overcome them because the Mishom, they too will be turned around in the future, and they will all serve Hashem, Shechem Echad, V'hoisol Hashem HaMelucha, and the governance will be to Hashem. Hashem will have government without any obstacle, without any opposition, but rather the Goyim themselves will be part of the service of Hashem. I say, V'yesh l'kasher zeh, this idea that we're saying that we know that we can overcome these obstacles. Those are obstacles that Hashem put down so that we can later on conquer it. So this is also tied, this is Mוצאי, Shabbos Beraishis, when the Rebbe said this Maimer. So we can tie this Gamim Inyan de Yaakov Holach Ledarkei also with the idea of Yaakov Holach Ledarkei, which should be Mוצאי Shabbos Beraishis. Shabbos, this was Mוצאי Shabbos Beraishis. Then we start the Avodah. We say Yaakov goes on his road, getting back involved from the whole month of Tishrei, getting back involved to the mundane, regular stuff, weekday stuff of the year. So we say Yaakov Holach Ledarkei. So seemingly, going Ledarkei is a scary thing to go on the road, but we know that the Eibishter actually goes with us, and we can do it. Hagam shehoylech Ledarkei, even though he's going on his road, Gam binyonei harishus. Also, in optional matters, ubeuvdin dechoil, and weekday matters, b'meshech kol hashono, for the duration of the year, the person is going out into the weekdays, into the optional matters. Mikol mokoim eino yorei mizeh, yet he is not afraid. Yaakov holach ledarkei, he is not scared. Like we said before, you know, ki'im hoylech labetach darkei, he goes securely on his road. Ubesimcha ubetuv levov, and with happiness and good heart, because he knows that birtzoynoi nosna lahem ubirtzoynoi notlo mehem v'nosna lonu, that the avodas habirurim is something that he can do, because the fact that it's challenging sometimes is only because they don't recognize yet Hashem. But once they recognize that the Eibishter is with us, then you're not afraid. Zehu Gam, this is also the idea. On Mוצאי Shabbos we say, Mוצאי Shabbos, generally Mוצאי Shabbos, also the Farbrengen was a Mוצאי Shabbos. But Mוצאי Shabbos, we say the piyut, not in Chabad, but there is, brings down the, in Likutei Torah that the Rebbe says that sometimes in Chassidus it explains matters which is not necessarily connected to Chabad. Here it says, especially Mוצאי Shabbos Bereshis, that you say she'oz maschil be'ikir haseder de Yaakov holach ledarkei. Mainly starts Yaakov holach ledarkei after Shabbos Bereshis. Till Shabbos Bereshis is still the remnants of the Yom Tov. When do you really go out is after Shabbos Bereshis. So then Oimrim, Al tira avdi Yaakov. Don't be afraid, my servant Yaakov. So the Rebbe's note here, even though we don't say Al tira avdi Yaakov, the Rebbe says that Chassidus explains other versions that do say it, even though we don't say it. So why does it say, why do we say Al tira avdi Yaakov? Because really, every Motzi Shabbos, the extra neshama leaves us. Ki b'Motza'i Shabbos mistalekes haneshama yiseru. That extra neshama leaves us on Motza'i Shabbos. B'tzorich lachzer v'leidet b'bchinas Yaakov Avdi. And you have to go back and you have to descend into the level of Yaakov Avdi. Avdi Yaakov, you have to become Yaakov Aslei B'chol Sheishis Yimei HaMaisa. In the coming 6 days after Shabbos, Levarer Birurim B'Biyah, to sort out all the sorting out in the Bria Yitzira Asiyah. Lekach Oimer, that's why we say, Al Tira Avdi Yaakov. Don't be afraid, my servant Yaakov, from going down over there. Ubazeh noisnim koyach v'ois chulu. That way, when you say Al tira avdi Yaakov, that itself gives you the koyach not to be afraid of the approach of the 6 days of the Chol. How come you should not be afraid? Why is it Al tira avdi Yaakov? Why aren't we afraid? What's the reason? The inyan Al tira. Why don't be afraid? Who? Ki Hashem elikov imoi. Because God, your God, is with you. Don't be afraid. Hashem is with you. Kol echad ve'echad mi Yisrael. Every single one of the Jewish people. Gam mishahu b'bchinas Yaakov. Even one who's in the level of Yaakov. So the pasuk says, Al tira avdi Yaakov. We're talking not even Yisrael. The name Yaakov represents a Jewish person who's on a lower level. He's not at the level of Yisrael. He's in the level of Yaakov. And still we tell him, Al tira, don't be afraid. Hashem is with you. Shekol echad ve'echad Yisrael, because every yid, gam mishahu b'bchinas Yaakov. Even if you're just a Yaakov, not a Yisrael. Every place, every time, and in every matter, which would mean gam b'chutz loretz, that would be chol mokim, not only in Eretz Yisrael but also outside of Eretz Yisrael. That's mokim, every place. Ubimei achol, which means chol zman, and then b'chol inyan, in every matter, means ubuvd in the chol, in weekday matters, not in kedusha. In everywhere, Hashem Havaya Lekov Hu Imay. God, your God is with him. So there's nothing to be afraid of. The ad, to the extent, Shenase Shutuf LaKodesh Baruch Hu B'Maaseh Beraishis, that he becomes a partner to Hashem. Not only is Hashem with him, supporting them, but the person becomes a partner to Hashem in the act of creation. Because when a yid is mevarer birurim, when you're sorting out and you're turning things from the world into the service of Hashem, that makes you a partner, not just is Hashem with you. What does it mean, a partner to Hashem? Hashem creates the world. And when you create a place for Hashem in the world, you're sort of creating a world too. You're creating your world now, over here. Shehu poyel chidush ba'briya. Because you are impacting, you're causing a novelty, anew in the creation. Almost just like Hashem, so to speak. The Eibishter creates, and you create, because the person creates a place for Hashem. Because through his work in the work of sorting out to make the world a dwelling place for Hashem. So that is something new that you're bringing into the world. You're struggling and you're sorting things out. You make the world into a dwelling place to Hashem. You're becoming a part because you're creating something. Hu poel chidush be'abriya. He affects a novelty in creation. It's a new creation, making it for a dwelling place for Hashem. So also on the Shabbos Bereshis, when we go out in the Avodah, we read in the Torah Bereshis Bora Lekimas Hashemayim V'Sa'aretz. In the beginning, Hashem created. Why? Because the person is creating now. He's going in and starting from Shabbos Bereshis in Holach Ledarka Yavedas Habirurim. So you're impacting, you're creating Shemayim V'Oretz. You're bringing Hashem into this world. Shal Yidei Ze Nase B'Riyas HaShemayim V'Oretz. You read in the Torah, Bereshis Bara Lekim, that brings the creation of Shemayim V'Oretz. B'chol Tzva'eim B'chodesh Anu. You're saying it again. U'b'oifen Chodesh. And in a new way, in a way of making a Dir Lo Yizbarach. V'ad, until we'll reach the level, Sheyiyah HaShemayim HaChadoshim V'Oretz HaChadosh HaGomer. It'll be the new sky and the new earth, which it says about the Osid Lovei. There will be a real Briyas Shemayim V'Oretz. So what the Rebbe was saying over here, the fact that we know all of this, Rashi explained to us. We know that this is the will of Hashem to make this world a place which hides, doesn't see Hashem. But ultimately, the reason why Hashem created this is so that we are mevarer and we reveal Hashem in the world. So that so that gives us the security, notwithstanding that there's a struggle. The world says, listim atem, the nation of the world, you're bandits. No, you can't. But we know that kol ha'aretz shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it belongs to Hashem. And when we try, we will succeed. And that's also why on Motzei Shabbos Bereshis, Yaakov Olach L'Darkei, B'chlal Motzei Shabbos Bereshis, when you have to go, any Motzei Shabbos, we say Al Tira Avdi Yaakov, because we know that Hashem is with us. It is because to give us that struggle. And basically, the Maimer explained the Rashi, the Medrash that says, that Rabbi Yitzchak says that the Torah should have started with a Chodesh, which would be, Ma'aseh Bereshis seems like the level of Memalekul Almin. HaChodesh Hazeh, he explained, is the level of being Mamshich in HaChodesh, which is Malchus, the level of Hazeh, which is the level of Sevim Kulam, to be Mamshich Sevim Mamalet. So why do we start with Bereshis Bara, which is just Memalekul Almim, and not start the Torah with HaChodesh Hazeh, which is Mamshich Sevim Mamalet? And the Rebbe explained that Mamshich Sevim Mamalet in HaChodesh Hazeh is talking about the level of being Mamshich from Lifnei HaTzimtzum in Le'achar HaTzimtzum. The Oirein Sof that was Lifnei HaTzimtzum already existed before. It was there before the Tzimtzum. So you have to be Mamshich from the Lifnei HaTzimtzum into after the Tzimtzum. So yes, that's Chodesh Hazeh, it's a high madrega. But the emes is through Bereshis Bara Lekim, which is the level of Avodas Habirurim. You're Mamshich more than just Bereshit, more than just the Oirin Sof Lifnei HaTzimtzum. You're Mamshich in a way from Mamish, from Atzmus. And that's why the Torah starts with the Bereshis Bara Lekim, so that when we take over and tells us not to be afraid and to be able to do our Avodas HaBirurim. All right, so this was the Maimer that the Rebbe said Motz Shabbos Beraishis. The first Maimer the Rebbe said was in his room after the incident in Tavshin Lamed Ches, in which the Rebbe went up to his room, was the Maimer of Simchas Torah. That was the first time. It was like an amazing miracle. The Rebbe was able to say the Maimer right away. Okay, and we'll do that next to Mitzvah Hashem. Okay, we'll leave it here.
Sure. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.